Out of all the odd pitches of a game about being a beacon to various conceptual spirits and having to raise them and later have them released into the world, takes the cake as being one of the more interesting ones. Maiesta has the characters take the role of these individuals, being the nurturing caretakers trying to put these spirits on the right path while defending them using just fragments of their power. It's also a game about hyper-pregnancy. Yeah, okay. It's hard to escape the, I would say elephant in the room, but I feel that would be offensive. The game is built upon a particular set of ideas, and the core one being that you're nurturing those spirits inside of you. Many of them, actually. The game's initial themes may throw you off, and it's impossible to fully escape it because it's never going to make you forget it. The game uses a 2D2 system to play, mostly, because yes, the game uses a literal 2D2 to determine various outcomes of checks. The main thing is that the characters are assigned various dice: copper, silver, gold, platinum, and crystal. Each die is assigned various attributes about the character, such as their battle rating and their armor rating, which determines how offensive or defensive the character is, as well as what some of their abilities do. Now, this section only applies to the combat section of the game, while the adventure mechanics uses only the crystal die in a simple manner. Combat is exactly what you would think it is: moving around a grid, performing actions to defeat a series of enemies. Key idea here is that all of the 9 classes and multi-classes, specializations, and veteran classes, which spike the number of options quite a bit, end up with around a dozen passive and almost 30 active abilities each they can use. Some of them are simple, while others can cause various status effects and change the flow of battle pretty dramatically, all while affecting your own attributes that you have to keep track of. It's fairly dense in that regard at some points. If that sounds a bit odd in a game about spirits, then you would be very correct. Combined with the fact that Adventure XP and regular XP are technically different, the game has an odd disconnect between what it's thinking and wanting. One would think that a game about raising spiritual creatures by using themes of motherhood would be a fairly combat-adverse game, instead focusing on relationships and building that, trust. But no, arguably the game actively encourages you to get into battles, with some of the cravings which act as a method to birth your gravs, and also basic combat experience. One could argue that the entire point of the game is to satisfy these cravings of the gravs and subsequently give birth to them, but you're also encouraged to call more gravs to keep your powers, which without an end goal as one may have leads to a game of being not really about the core pitch unless the GM proposes it as such. The game really isn't about nurturing these spiritual entities to maturity as much as about having those spiritual entities do something with. I'm not opposed, but I feel as if something is missing from the story that Maiesta wishes to tell. Overall, Maiesta is a unique game that, through all its size, girth, and options, seems to lack a centralized focus outside of its pitch. The game is free on DeviantArt and is technically the only way to play it, as to sort through the pages of rules, side rules, and rules which shouldn't be there, because there isn't actually a PDF available for the game at all. My name is Notepad, and this was Maiesta, the Gravid RPG. If you like what I do here, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Every little bit helps. Thank you, and have a wonderful rest of your day.